What's up out there? We are in the middle of Necropolis League and full force into it. I am now level 71. I am in the mapping section. Yes, I have bad resistances, very bad chaos res. My gear is pretty crappy at this point. It's been a brutal campaign. I actually finished the campaign earlier today, which is Sunday. I started on Friday afternoon, took some time off work, blasted as much as I could. And basically, I am running three different builds this league right off the gate. I have this build, which is an Exsanguinate Scion. I have a Caustic Arrow Ranger. I think it's going to be a Pathfinder. And then, of course, Bone Shatter Juggernaut. Now, my league plans are to take this Exsanguinate Scion, get it to level 90, and then start working on, I'm going to be working on Heist. But ultimately, I would like to take this build and make it into an Armor Stacker. Yeah, Armor Stacker for this one. And then, which means basically wiping away all of the regret orbing pretty much everything off, including all the ascendancy stuff, because I'm going for Gladiator, and that one's going to use Champion and something over here on the Shadow, I think. This one's going to be using Gladiator and Hierophant for this portion of it. And I'm hybridizing two different Exsanguinate builds because the one guy went over on this side further and the other guy went on this side. I like to have this Charisma on here, and I know you can anoint it, but I can't anoint yet, so I just pathed over to it. It's not that far out of the way. But this guy had some other weird stuff on here, like minion damage that really didn't do a whole lot. In the testing that I did between leagues, these minion nodes, to where this one where it applies minion damage to you, just didn't seem to make all that much of a difference in damage. It's a couple thousand or a couple hundred or whatever. It really wasn't that much of a deal. So instead of putting points into those, I put points into some other things, like over here to this side to get Charisma. And I mean, I'm level 71. I've got 19 levels left to go. So we've got 19 points to put in. And I don't really have a whole lot left to put points into at this point. Like Profane Chemistry, I think I need to take this node here for 15% spell suppression and things like that. Like, there's a few places I still need to put points into. But this build, on the tree that I'm at now, there's like 3 different trees, and I'm on the middle tree, just working on that. You come off of this jewel socket and put a bunch of stuff in here, which I don't have the currency for, I don't have the jewels for, it doesn't matter. So the other thing that was kind of cool about this build is on this jewel socket, they actually took one of the green ones. Is that Viridian? I can't remember. It's one of these, Viridian jewels. Basically, if you take a Vol Orb and run it on one of these jewels, there's a chance that it becomes a unique. And one of the uniques you can get is one that I actually had last league, and the unique takes 23 or 27% damage for every magical piece of gear you have. So if you equip every one of these as magic gear, you get this insane damage bonus. It's like a complete glass cannon. So every one of my failed attempts is going to go here. Like, this one's got some Dex, Int, Strength, and Global Fizz damage, so I might be able to use that somewhere. I'm going to hang on to it. But I actually got this from corrupting these things, so it wasn't that hard to get. So the first build that I tried, I didn't like because it came over here into Pain Attunement, which is low life, and I was not a fan of that. I did like the Charisma on it. The second build that I tried came on this side of the tree over here on the left, and they didn't do Charisma, but they had this jewel here, and I thought, okay, the one on the right had more uniques that I had to go get that were harder to get. The one on the left had less uniques and built it with more, it looked more SSF friendly. So I'm kind of hybridizing the two. Like, the one comes over here to Raider, I think, which I'm thinking about whether I want to go to Raider or not. The other one came over here to Hierophant. So you get this Arcane Surge, gives you more spell damage because Exsanguinate is a physical spell. So it was random button mashing is not working out for me. So I need to put more points into this, need to get better gear. Obviously, my gear sucks pretty badly, and my stats aren't that great. I just hit mapping. This is a bad league to try to experiment with because it's a brutal league. We'll talk about the league mechanics here in a second, but yeah. So the coolest thing that I found was this Dodre's Damning Ring. I got that from Hailrake right at the very beginning of the game. I was happy with that. I know it's a small thing, but I was kind of happy with it. So let's go run a map. The league mechanic has been very frustrating at times. Like this thing here, I get increased pack size, chance to drop additional fusing is great. Item rarity is great. 60% chance to suppress spell damage, and then always stuns. Like some of these have been brutal as far as modifiers, and I have died a lot. I think I've died about 30 times, just under 30 times, something like that. Now, there are a few other differences with this build too. So this build that I'm following uses Exsanguinate and Reap. The other build that I was following used Exsanguinate or Reap. And it's a big difference. I need to put that in my filter so I can see the, oh yeah, we're dying. We're dying. Not good. Got all my stuff running. Yeah. Yeah, this has been really rough. Of course, I'm probably standing on fire, ain't I? Some of this stuff stuns. I need to get rid of that. Bleeding has sucked. What were we talking about here? I totally lost my train of thought here. Started dying, panic, and that was that. Oh, the Exsanguinate or Reap. This one uses both. So what this one actually does is you put Reap down here. Is it on? Yeah, it's on my gloves. I don't know that it matters where it's at, but you put Reap on your on a gloves or boot or helmet or something like that. You 4-socket it, and then you put your Exsanguinate on 6 sockets, and basically you're using, on the one build, you were switching between the two, like you'd actually physically pull the sockets out, or pull the gems out of the socket and switch out Exsanguinate for Reap and Chain Support for Swift Affliction, I think. I didn't like doing that. I thought that kind of sucked. So I didn't want to do that. So I liked the idea of this build where you're actually running them both. On the testing I was doing in Standard League, I kind of ran a Golem because I wasn't really sure how the Reap was supposed to work exactly, and I didn't feel like messing with it. So I threw a Chaos Golem because you get some damage reduction off of it. So I thought that was kind of cool, and I tried that. Now that I've played this, like actually started it and put Reap on it and tried to play it, I see what they're going for with it. So I am trying it out. Oh, we can do this. Hit you with that. Oh, he jumps. All right, we don't want to get too far away. And he's dead. So for the most part, this is doing well. Oh, I don't have to do that. I can push B. Oh, I didn't want to leave. But we got map progress. So we come over here, we put this for Expedition, and I could put another point in. I think I want to take this and do this spell suppression now. Make sure that's in there. At least get some defensive layer built up, although it's not much. I thought that was at 15%. Now it's, I don't understand, whatever. Maybe it was only 3%. I thought it was up at, whatever. Anyway, so that's how things are going. The league mechanic itself, I really like this. I see a lot of people, I see people complaining about it. I can't tell if people really hate it or despise it, or if people love it. There's a couple of things one thing that I really don't like is that you have this limit of 64. I've already hit that limit. I had to go clean a bunch of stuff out. I would like to see to where I could just keep whatever because I don't know what I want, and I have to just pass on stuff. But on the other side of the coin, I think you can go in here and bank all that stuff into here and start like crafting projects. I thought that was, I guess it kind of, if you do your crafting project and get stuff banked in there, it kind of offsets the limitations of it. I like this for SSF. I think this is a really cool SSF mode because I don't have to have any currency to craft this stuff. Now, I watched somebody's video talking about how this works, and they basically said what you want to do is go into Craft of Exile and look at the weight of everything and see how things go, because like cold modifiers are 100% scarcer. I kept thinking that said scarier. It took me a while to realize, no, it's the word scarcer. So basically these change the weightings. Like if you look at the prefixes on a piece of gear in Craft of Exile, you've got all the different weights, and it made sense to me. I still don't really get how all the weights work exactly. I haven't really sat down and spent the brain power to figure it out, but I understand that a higher weight is going to occur more often. I get that. And a lower rate is rarer and harder to get. So basically what you're doing is manipulating that weight and saying that I want more defense modifiers. So if your higher tier defense modifiers are harder to get, you're actually raising those up in the pool. And then you take other things and say, well, I don't want cold modifiers, so lower their rate down. And then you've got raising the tiers of them and stuff like that. And you can adjust quality of the, like if you've got 10 different tiers that you can get, you can adjust the quality and take some of that away so that you only get the top so many tiers that are good. Basically, it's rolling an item. The way I look, the way this person was explaining it and the way it kind of made sense to me is if you were trying to explain to a machine how to create what you want with this description. So, and that's probably not making much sense, but if you take the weight system in Craft of Exile and you say, I don't want this and I want that, and you tell it to fix up, what's this take in, oh God, resonators and stuff like that for Delve. So you tell it to go in here and whatever these are, fossils. Tell me how to make this with fossil crafting. It's going to tell you to take and roll so many, take this, 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 and this, put it in these different devices and just roll them. You know what I mean? And that actually made sense to me. I was like, okay, I kind of get that. So basically what you're trying to do is take this stuff as descriptive text and handle the weighting of stuff and say, I don't, everything, I want fire specifically, fire modifiers. I don't want cold. I don't want lightning. And you're basically adjusting the weights so that you don't want other stuff like chaos and life and things like that, or maybe you do want life. So you basically bury the different bodies that make up that recipe. I know that's a terrible description, and I don't really have a good example because I don't want to say I barely understand it, but I don't understand it enough to really explain it. But the video that I saw was good. If I remember, I'll try to link it below. I think it was Grimro or something like that. I'm probably getting the user wrong, but I think it was a really good video, and it made this make a lot more sense. If you think about it in Craft of Exile terms, I don't think you necessarily need Craft of Exile. Like, I think you could probably figure some of this out logically, like I want more attribute if I'm working for attributes and stuff like that, but you have to really know your gear, which is where Craft of Exile comes in, because you don't have to know the gear. You can just go look at Craft of Exile and see what it says. Anyway, I really like this. As a player of SSF, I think this is great. I think this is a good mechanic myself. I like it. I don't know. I don't like the limitation on the number of bodies, but I understand that that's limited by the number of slabs in here. And getting rid of them, I guess you can box them up. You can buy these things off of him, buy the coffins off of him. Didn't really see how much they cost. Oh, Chaos Orb. Yeah, won't be doing that very often because I don't see very many Chaos. But theoretically, you could Chaos Orb these things off and save them for later, or just bury them in the ground and then make room for others. And I've heard these get pretty good as you get further on. So I've definitely gotten, I was keeping them all for a while. I didn't realize there was a cap. I hit the cap, then I deleted a bunch of crappy ones. And I've tried doing some crafts here and there. I don't think any of the gear that I have came from here. Maybe these boots, I'm not sure. I didn't watch that video yet, so I wasn't sure how crafting worked. And I haven't spent enough time gathering some other stuff to work with it yet. So anyway, so I'm digging this. I'm enjoying this league. Yeah, this will be a good enough video, I think. So just to recap where I'm at, I have a level 72 Exsanguinate Scion. I've got like a level 15 Marauder that's going to be a Bone Shatter Juggernaut at some point, I think. I'm going to try to get that one into an accuracy stacker. That's like totally down the road. I don't know if I'll even get to that point. This one's going to be an armor stacker for sure. Whether I get there or not, I'm going to work on this one. This is my goal for the league. And then I have like a level 15 or 16 Caustic Arrow build that's in the campaign. I think before I continue further into mapping, I want to get that Caustic Arrow build up into the mapping section. So I'll probably work on that this week, get that one done. That way both of these are sitting in the mapping section and I can pick whichever one I want to work with and try to push things forward. I can always take this build into like Heist or Delve or something like that and do some work over there. Whether I do mapping with this one or not, I'm not too concerned with. If the other build, if my Caustic Arrow build is better at mapping this crazy league mechanic we've got, I think I'm going to focus on that one. So I'm not sure which one I want to play yet. I want to get them both into the mapping section and both geared up a little bit. I figure as I get them both there, they'll both help each other out. I don't really have the currency to make any better gear, and I need to get armor evasion gear all the way around, which this is like evasion energy shield. This one's armor. This one's energy shield. Like, I need to get that fixed. That's like the first thing I need to do. Well, somewhere in that realm, but I need to get, you know, I need to be able to make all the linked items and the socket colors and everything. Like, none of this is the right color for everything. Some of this stuff I've had to put this added chaos damage, I had to put that in there because I don't have anything. I can't even link this because I need like 2 reds and a blue to do what I need here. I need another red here, I think, for Whirling Blade. Or no, I need another green for fast attack, not swift fliction, but fast attack speed or whatever I need on this one. Like, I just can't quite get all of it done. But anyway, that's where I am right now. Like I said, I'm enjoying the league. I'm having a blast with it. I am looking forward to seeing how the rest of this goes, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what other people think about it. Let me know how you're doing on your league down below. Do you think you like it? I've seen people dropping out of hardcore and ruthless. Thank God Zizaran is not doing that gauntlet this league, because this would be a rough gauntlet for sure. But anyway, that will do it for this video. We will catch you on the next one. Take care.